Comments recently made by Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy have been wildly blown out of proportion on the internet. This is a fact check video. I'm going to go through some of the comments that have been made and sort of provide context for them. Now, did Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy say that she likes to make men uncomfortable in regards to her new Star Wars movie focusing on Rey? No. These comments were made in 2015 at a Women in the World conference. Her comments, "I like to make men uncomfortable," were in regards to her documentary film, A Girl in the River, The Price of Forgiveness. This documentary is about a 19-year-old girl who was subjected to an honor killing by her uncle and father, a process in which someone who is deemed to have brought dishonor or shame to a family is killed as a way of restoring that family honor. She survives the attempt and is then forced to forgive her attackers, who go free. Her comments about making men uncomfortable are most relevant here, as she wants to make the idea of men committing horrible violence against women uncomfortable to men. That is it. That is the context of her comments. It was not about Star Wars. It was never about Star Wars. Again, these comments were made in 2015, months and months before The Force Awakens even came out, and a full 8 years before this woman was announced as a director for Star Wars in April of 2023. Next, Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy said, "It's about time a woman came forward to shape the story in a galaxy far, far away." Yes, she did say this. Now, the context of this, however, is that she is excited to be the first woman to direct a Star Wars movie. Keywords here: direct a Star Wars movie. And this is true. I've seen a lot of responses to this comment have been coming from a place of misunderstanding, whether willingly or not. She was not talking about female characters in the franchise, not them shaping a story. She was not talking about female producers in the franchise. Obviously, Kathleen Kennedy has been head of Lucasfilm since 2012. And she was not talking about directors and writers in the franchise, because yes, directors like Deborah Chow, Susanna White, and Bryce Dallas Howard have been in the director's chair for projects in Star Wars television, but none of them have directed a Star Wars movie, and that's what this quote was about. Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy will in fact be the first woman to direct a Star Wars movie, as Patty Jenkins' Rogue Squadron movie is no longer being made. Now, if your response to these comments is to bring up examples of female characters or directors or writers already present in the franchise, you're answering a question that was never asked, as it was never what the original comments were about. Now, to respond to comments about this whole situation, like, "I don't care about her gender, I only want a good Star Wars movie and not an agenda or politics being forced into it." A movie having an agenda and being good is not an either-or situation. Both things can be true at once. Also, politics has been a mainstay of the franchise since 1977. Did you really think a franchise called Star Wars didn't have any real-world politics in it? Next one, her comments make it seem like she hates men. Again, this is going back to the making men uncomfortable thing. I've already provided the context for those comments, but she does not hate men. In the same CNN interview where she talks about being excited about being the first woman to come forward to shape the story, she also says how important it is to have male champions present to help women along and champion men. This is a line that has been skipped over in every instance I've seen of people negatively reacting to these interviews and comments. It's ignorant at best and dishonest at worst. Now, that's about it for now, but if you're still seething with anger and rage even after having the context laid out for you, then I have nothing more to say to convince you. But the accounts and videos out there that are riling people up to be mad about this are lying to you and being intentionally dishonest by leaving out key points of context. Again, if you are still mad even with all the context provided, then maybe it is time for you to step away from this part of the fandom, because it is obviously bringing you no joy. As a wise little frogman once said, anger leads to hate, hate leads to suffering. That's it for me. I'm going to be getting back to making fun little lore and character videos again, but this whole situation was just blown so wildly out of proportion that I did feel like I had to say something, and if I can change one person's mind, that's good enough for me. Thanks for watching, if you made it this far.